Hi, BWW community. This is Michelle Jackson. I am here to speak with yet another amazing author, someone who has joined the BWW community, who will also be joining us at the upcoming Black Ink Virtual Book Fair, which takes place on January the 29th. Her name is Necole Muhammad. She's written this amazing book with the title I just can't get enough of. It's like Green Panties, Ulcers and Corns. And we're going to talk about this title and we're going to talk about the book. Wanted to show you a little bit about what that book looks like, and hopefully how's everything going?
It's going well. It's going well. Thank you for having me.
Give me that full title of your book.
All right. It's Green Panties, Ulcers, and Corns.
Oh, wow. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We have you on the BWW page. Also, you're on the author Michelle D. Jackson page. And we have people who have been waiting around just to talk to you. So we're very excited to be here. For those of you who are right now looking at us on the screen, I ask you to do a couple of things. One, I want you to stop what you're doing. I want you to share this on your personal page. If you are in the group and you don't know how to share it, go to my page at author Michelle D. Jackson, and you can see this same live stream. And I just want you to share it on your page. That helps us to get as many viewers as possible. Two, I want you to start putting together your questions, because we're going to be talking and we're going to be giving you an opportunity to ask questions. I'll read them off to Necole. We're here to educate, to learn, and just to really support our indie Black authors. You guys know what we do on the BWW. And I want to say this: we have 2,700 members now on the BWW Facebook page. We just started this like March. And to know that we have that many people, and the conversations are so amazing, and everybody is liking and sharing and connecting. And so I just wanted to take a little time to say thank you for that. But right now we have Necole Muhammad, and she's in Chicago. And what is the weather like in Chicago, Necole?
It's cold, but it's not bad.
Okay.
You know, it's cold, but it's not bad. It's not windy. It's not snowing. It's just kind of calm and cold.
Oh, calm and cold. We'll take it. We'll take it.
But it's good. We've seen worse, so I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining.
Absolutely. So she's in the Windy City, and I'm down here in New Orleans. And guess what? It's cold here. I know. I'm amazed. I'm about to pull out some boots. So it's really nice to know that we're going to actually have a little winter down here. So Necole, tell us about yourself and tell us about your book.
All righty. So I'm Necole Muhammad, a married mother of 2 adult children, and I live in Chicago, Illinois. I'm a former high school administrator, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. And right now I'm working on directly with Chicago gun violence reduction. So that's currently what I'm doing. I'm also a life coach, a certified sexologist, a yoga instructor, and a trauma expert, especially when it comes to gun violence and the impact that it has on the biopsychosocial part of the individuals that we assist. So that's what I do. That's who I am. And I'm happy to be here.
You're doing it all. I mean, you said a couple of things. A former principal. For those of you who have kids out there, you understand that, we have big hearts for the principals dealing with the kids. I have a 14-year-old, and I just want to apologize now for whatever. I'm sorry.
It's a beautiful journey. It is. It really is. It really is. Having 2 adult children, you understand what the parents are going through. Yes.
Absolutely. You also said that you're a sexologist. I didn't see that in your bio, girl. You need to put a pin in that. That's very interesting. So if there are any questions out there, please keep them, something I can read off. Make sure there's something I can actually read off. So for those of you who have questions, you can send them in. We're going to be getting to them. But right now we're going to learn about this book. Raise your book up. Let's see it. Let's take a look at your book.
Green Panties, Ulcers, and Corns. Yes.
Let's talk about it. Tell us about your book. Why did you write it?
Well, as a high school administrator, you really understand the level of commitment and sacrifice, authenticity, and, the real deal around servant leadership. And so my experience, I felt, especially, after I resigned, I really felt like I wanted to be a support system, not only to educators, but to administrators, parents, and specifically, women in servant leadership. We give a lot. We do a lot for everybody else, and there comes a time when you have to reintroduce yourself to yourself, because if I'm doing for you and you're doing for me, who's doing for me, right?
Mhm.
So, and I might have said that wrong. If I'm doing for you and you're doing for you, who's doing for me, right? So
Mhm.
that's really the root of it. That I committed a lot, I sacrificed a lot, mentally, spiritually, physically, and I wanted to share my journey and the 9 lessons learned during that journey. And so that's how the book came to be. I was initially a co-author of a book called Soul Talk Volume 3. Awesome book, 21 co-authors. And part of my book was about self-preservation for servant leaders. And so I had been thinking about this book way before then, but I just decided to take that piece and just go ahead and run with it. And so that's how it came about.
So define servant leader for us.
For me, servant leader is an individual who is committed to serving the individuals that they are responsible for, serving them in a way of making sure that the entire team is on board together, moving in tandem with the same mission and vision, making sure that whatever it is that, that the people underneath you need, whether it's coaching, support, resources, or whatever to get the job done, having the best outcomes possible, is a servant leader, someone who commits to the team and not so much to be over them, but to work with them and for them to make sure that we have the best outcomes with whatever it is that we are trying to bring into fruition.
We understand. Great. Talk to us about your title. Dissect that title for us.
So, I had this green pair of panties that I've had since college. And I don't know, it's the color and the feel of them that they make it into the rotation at least 2 times a month, at the least, right? They have to make it into the rotation. And so just on this journey, I went to go put them on one morning, and they didn't just flap down, they rolled down, right? And so I was disgusted, right? And here's the sad part, I wasn't even disgusted like about the reason behind it. I was like, I can't put on my panties. Like, they would not have been comfortable. And then I had
Mhm.
to come to the realization it's because I had gained weight. I had just kind of sacrificed and committed myself to everything else except to make sure that my temple was running right, that I was healthy, that, I felt comfortable in the skin I was in. And so that, brought to my attention that I had really been engulfed in, my mission and
Mhm.
not really paying attention to myself. And so the ulcer was, I came down with an ulcer. We had a
Mhm.
really big situation at the school that landed us on international news, not just local, but international news. We had a lot of students that were arrested. Just so happens that the camera crew was on the bridge talking about something on the expressway. The police called a specific number on the radio, and everybody came to the school. And so that crew turned the camera around and caught everything right then and there. And so just the stress of central office, the constant, criticism, trying to make sure everything was on point, trying to make sure everybody was in alignment with what the requests that we were given, because we went almost overnight from being on point, in alignment, moving forward, moving the numbers, to being everything except a child of God. In reference to central office. And so that stress in and of itself, trying to make sure everybody understood that, you know, my side just began to have some real serious issues. And so that was, my ulcer. And then just the corns. I was all over the place. I had on the right principal shoes, but up and down the stairs, running through the hallway, going from building to building, I developed 2 corns. I felt like my feet were the prettiest feet on the planet Earth. I was devastated. Right? I'm not even vain. I just knew my feet were the bomb. I ain't had nothing else going for me. Pull out my feet, right? At the beach,
Mhm.
or whatever, the cutest sandals. Anyway, so those 3 things together, really showed me that I had really lost my way in serving. And it could just happen. It just really can, because when you show up and show out in the mission and not the position, you could
Hmm.
really lose balance. And that's what I.
Yes. It's so interesting on the page. There are so many books written, particularly by Black women, that are about writing through the pain. And so
Mhm.
we're going to be dealing with writing through the pain with our new roundtable discussion that we're going to be hosting every third Saturday. And this is a hard one because, there's so many people who say, we need to write, there needs to be more Black books out there that doesn't deal with pain.
Mhm.
But the reality is that it's not just about it being a book by a Black person, but it's just the fact that pain is a part of the
Yes.
growth process.
Yes.
And so if we're really growing and if we're being honest about it, we all have our green panty ulcer, you know, corn moment. I
Yes.
have, and many, many people have. I love the green panty thing because that speaks volumes to comfort
Mhm.
and to taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And we have a hard time doing that. Now, you talk about 9 steps.
Mhm.
Deal with one of the step that you feel is the most important. What did you learn, and what would you say to others that are going through what you went through in that process of learning?
One of the best lessons I learned is how to get naked with myself, right?
Mm,
And that means really getting visceral with who I am, what is driving me, what is important to me, how I see things, and how I feel balanced, just within myself. We do a lot for a lot of people. So let me just
mhm,
take an example. If you have a husband or children, they are looking at you as wife and as mother. Um, Very rarely do they reintroduce themselves to you as a woman that has flaws and celebrations
mhm.
and challenges and so forth. And so, in that, you are just really doing the role. And in all of those roles, especially if you're a leader, and that could be a leader in your home, right? So, I'm not stating that you have to be outside of the home to be a leader, but when you're giving, very seldom, I really don't know one woman who can't disagree that people have not stopped to ask what she needs. Is she
Yeah.
okay? Give her time. Could she be a Malcolm or a Martin and not have an issue? One of my mentors told me one day, every day you may fail at something, but just get back up and try to get that right together the next day. And so getting naked allows you to reintroduce yourself to yourself, be very honest about what you think, what you like, where you're going, how you feel, what you need. And when you can be your own best friend, when you can pull yourself in and really try to balance out what is going to help you maintain your mission, then you can get very clear. And a lot of things that may have gotten in the way before, you just see as a statement or something that you need to pay attention to. It doesn't engulf you.
Wow, that was amazing because getting naked is something that I think is important that we all have to do at some point. We carry a lot. I think Zernier Hurston said that Black women are the mules of the world. And I don't take anything away from any woman of any race, but as women in general,
Mhm.
we carry a great deal, and we have to do it in our stilettos and our hair that's done and our flawless makeup. And you have to stay a certain size and you have to act the part. If
Mhm.
you're super smart, dummy down a little bit to make the men feel good.
Mhm.
There are so many things that we have to contend with that we don't even talk about, and
Absolutely.
don't even let me get into parenthood because
Mhm.
that's a whole nother responsibility. Keep the house clean. The kids need to be smart. They need to be doing everything they're supposed to do. And if anything gets out of whack,
It's your fault.
it's our fault. So
Mhm.
the idea of getting naked, I love that because there are times in my life where I've had to, look in the mirror and say, okay, brush off all these things.
Yes.
We got to get down to the raw of who Michelle is, what Michelle wants. And everybody who wants to say she can't do or can't, or should do, we
Right.
got to brush them off because I'm here for a reason,
Mhm.
God put me here for a reason. And I promise you, it was not just to cook Sunday dinner. I'm
It's not.
sorry.
Mhm.
You know, I love talking to writers because you guys are so insightful. And I love everything you said, but more importantly, I love the fact that you said, you know what, I'm doing all these things. I'm this person, that person, this person, that person. And I love that because I always say that I'm not just here to do one thing. I can
Mhm.
be a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur, a writer. I can do all those
Yeah.
things.
Come on.
So talk to us about your work-life balance because I'm sure in all of this you've had to come up with some techniques to get the balance that you need in order to exercise and do the things that you are doing right now. Talk to us about your work-life balance.
So I'm going to say the experiences that led to the book. I promise you, when you know how you look back and like, I don't even know how I did all of that. I had two children, one in high school, one in college. I'm running a school. I have things that I have to take care of. I was teaching yoga, which is one of the reasons why I started teaching yoga, is because what it gave me was some centeredness, some grounding, some time to reflect, to mind my own business on my mat, to pay attention to what I needed to work on. And so that's how I wound up becoming an instructor, because I wanted to share that with other people. But currently now, what I can say is also in the book is about what COVID came to teach me. I know we lost a lot of people and I know that there's a lot of pain, but it also should have come, or let me just say this, it came to teach me something, right? I can't speak to other people. And so something this big has to come and be a lesson, a teacher for something. And for me, it was to stop. It was to engage in self-preservation. It was to let my body heal. It was to really reset and see if I needed to do things differently. And that was about trying to balance, my mental, my physical, my spiritual. I had to reintroduce myself to my husband. 365 days, I'm going to go ahead and say it,
Yeah.
24/7. It hasn't even been 365, but it can seem like that when you are locked in four walls with people who it's just become like this. I don't even know how to describe it. You just kind of come and go, and now you're stuck in a space, right? So basically, in a nutshell, I just strive real hard to do what I have to do for my job, strive to cut that off at a certain time, take time out for myself in the morning before everybody else gets me, so I can spend time with God. Even though my cat and my dog may interrupt that, they're not really talking to me. And then, also carve out some time for myself. Um, so it's just really, and now I'm 47 years old, and not that that's old at all. However, I've learned some things and I have more points of reference. And so another part of that is that at this point where I am in my life and what I've been through, I don't have to prostitute myself for anybody anymore.
Mm,
I'm not
mm.
striving for a position. I don't have to fall within a certain category or silo. And I appreciate that, right? Because sometimes you can be carrying loads of stress and not even know it, just because you're actually in the process. So just right now, I'm really appreciating carving time out for myself, making my family what I said that I wanted to be was important and critical for me to be a part of, and just really doing some of the things that I enjoy, not just working to get the check, to pay the bills, to start all over again the next day.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Beautifully said. I know we wanted to have so much more time to talk, but we have another interview coming up. So I wanted to, we've got a couple comments that's coming in, but I wanted to give you a little time to talk about the book itself, the marketing behind the book, and did you self-publish your book?
So I went through purpose. My whole brain is gone. And she should really kick me in my head. Purposely creative publishing, right? I'm tripping. And so working with them was really nice because, like I said, initially I co-authored with some individuals, and so I learned a lot of marketing through Cheryl Pillow Williamson, and she was a great mentor. And then her publishing company, I jumped on board with them, and so that worked out really well because I learned the purpose behind the deadlines and the editing,
Mm-hmm.
and what marketing needed to look like, and how distribution goes, and what you can do to monetize your book. So I learned a lot of different things in the process. So this is my first solo book. And so, when you're with a group, everything is not on you. When you're trying to drive this one book yourself, it's you out here against the world. And it's not as easy as it seems when you're working with 21 other people and a leader. So you have to be really, and it's so much stuff out here to be on top of. So to be detail oriented, to be organized, be committed to the process, to push your message because people need it, is what I'm really trying to focus on. So this is almost trying to get like a PhD in writing, right? It's important. You
It
got to
is.
get out there, you got to get it done. And so I have been hazed and I'm in book by book. Uh,
I like that. We're all in book by book. We're all trying to figure this thing out. Trust me. I published 2 books and I learn something new every day. And it's wow, it's an amazing experience. So Necole, we're gonna get to some of these. We have a couple of comments. Barbara Phipps says, yes, taking time to mind my business. And in
mm,
quotation,
I appreciate
and take care of yourself. That's right. To mind my business. That is excellent.
that.
And I love that because that's exactly what we have to learn to do is to mind our own business. It goes a long way. Linda Harris says, hello, everyone. Necole, I appreciate your humorous title. Laughter and wellness go hand in hand to stimulate heart health, a stress reliever, self-care indeed. What
Oh,
you're saying means a great deal to a lot of women, a lot of people in general, because we are having those moments where things just get out of hand. And I agree with you. COVID has had it's been tough, and I'm
mhm,
ready for it to go away. We all are, but it really slowed us all down.
mhm,
It stopped us in our tracks, and it was kind of an equalizer because we all had to deal with across the world. We're dealing with the same thing. It didn't care about race, it didn't care about socioeconomic things, and so it made you stop and really deal with yourself.
mhm.
So, when did you release your book, and what are some of the next steps?
So my book was released, I want to say December 15th or 18th. And so I've just really been pushing in different areas, introducing it, using it as a sounding board for topics. I'm in love with Clubhouse, so we'll be pushing, to start some rooms around that. And I'm waiting to see kind of really what the sales were because the big distribution is, larger than me just handling it through my website, uh,
Mhm.
is, NecoleMuhammad.com. And so that's different. So trying to see what that looks like and keeping up with that is very interesting. So just pushing that this year, and using the topics to help women and help women servant leaders is what the goal is.
I am so proud of you. Continue to be great. Continue to do what you're doing. Continue to stay connected with us. Necole Muhammad will be one of our exhibitors at the Black Ink Virtual Book Fair on Friday, January 29th. You can come, you can meet with her in her virtual booth. You can click in and actually talk to Necole, and you can buy her book right there. Although the book is available now. And let's get your website one more time so everyone would know.
Necole Muhammad, that's NecoleMuhammad.com.
And let's get that book. Let's show the book one more time and then give us that title. We want to.
Panties, Ulcers, and Corns.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Necole, for
thank
being here
you.
with us. And hopefully we'll bring you back. And like I said, I have back-to-back interviews. So we normally would sit on here and chit chat for
Yeah.
45 minutes until we just didn't have nothing else to talk about because it's our show. So we do what we want to do. However, this is one of those days that we had a hard stop. But I will say this, I'm grateful to know that you're going to be participating in the event. I'm grateful to know that you're in Chicago making it happen and that you're talking about issues that are life changing. And that's very, very important. So Linda Harris wanted to tell you thank you. I want to tell you
Thank
thank
you.
you and good luck with your book.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Okay, everybody. I'm going to stay on the screen for a minute. I have our other guest. She's here. Her name is Vanna Matthews, and she's with CEO Mom Magazine and CEO Kid Magazine. And we're going to be talking to her very shortly. But I wanted to spend a little time to talk about some of the upcoming activities that we have on the BWW, because this thing is just like moving, and I am so happy about it. We have over 2,700 members just on Facebook, another 800 or 900 on Twitter and Instagram, and people are engaging with us. They want to hear about new and indie books. They want to know how to connect with you. And so we're going to be making sure that we have many opportunities to help you promote your book. That's what this is all about. I have a PR firm. Yes. I'm a marketing person. Yes. But I did this because I have two books and I have stumbled through the process. I've self-published one and vanity published the other, and I had to learn so much on the fly. And I don't want you guys to have that experience. I want you to learn so that when you do release your books or your second or third or fourth book, you know what's happening. I also want you to have a community of people supporting you, because this can be a lonely world writing books. It really can be, because everybody isn't doing it. Everybody doesn't understand your passion to get your book out there. Everybody doesn't want to support you. But in the BWW, you do have a community, and we will always support you. So a couple of things that we have going on. Next Saturday at 10:30, we will have our first Pen Posse roundtable discussion. If you're interested in being on the panel, I think we still have one or two seats. You can send me an email at events@prsolutionsllc.org. If you are just wanting to call in, or I'm sorry, not call in, but view it and send in your questions, please do so. It's a roundtable. We're just going to be talking to people who've been there, done that, talking to people who are trying to figure it out. We're not all experts, but we've all done it. And so we want to share our experiences with you. On January 29th, we have the Black Ink Virtual Book Fair. And we invite everyone to be a part of the book fair. You can exhibit. You will have a virtual booth where you can actually exhibit and connect with readers from all across the world. They can tap into your particular booth, meet with you live, just like we're talking now, using a web-based video conference platform. Then we have live streaming, where we have some amazing speakers. We have Tracy Sherrod with Amistad, which is the part of HarperCollins Publishing House. They publish the Black books. We have Doris Payne. I mean, this is an international thief. She's real, okay? And she wrote a book, and we're going to be talking to her as well. And then we have an all-male panel, and we have Chef Terrell Manning, who will also be on that panel. So I'm going to jump off right now, and then we're going to get ready for Vanna. And if you have any questions, you're interested in magazine publishing, you want to talk to her, she has an amazing magazine. So give us 3 minutes, 2 minutes now, and we'll be back.